following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
All right, let's take him to school, Jazz. You are looking at a live shot at the Ford Center and Tostitos Plaza. We are here at the Star in Frisco, home of the Dallas Cowboys. Hello, everyone, and special shouts out to Cowboy Nation. You are now rocking with the best. This is Heckman Harrison, and you are hanging out with us in the SWBC Mortgage Studios, and y'all know what it is. This is HWTB, baby. We taking care of the business today, and we got a guy back in the building. I can't wait. But Kurt Diesel is across from me, editor-in-chief of Star Magazine. On the line is Super Bowl champion and former Dallas Cowboy wide receiver Isaiah Stanback and Mr. International player with a passport, Jesse Holley.
Oh, no. Wait. There will be a new addressing of me going forward. Okay. Right now, it'll be Emmy nominated.
Tell them.
Jesse
Tell the
Holley.
people. Tell the people.
In a few weeks, it might be Emmy Award winner.
Yeah.
But for now, we're gonna go with Emmy nominated. I want that to stick on a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna go with Emmy nominated. This is the first time I've been on the show since the nominations have come out. Mm-hmm. So I will be addressed as Emmy nominated.
You know, they say,
Holley.
God don't give you more than you can handle.
And that's why I'm not gonna win, because if I win, the complete level of ignorance that will be on display, I'm going to get it on a chain.
Don't do that.
I'm going to get it. Come on, you know. But nah, what's up, fellas?
Nah, what's up, man? And you were. Well, Isaiah, come on, man. What's up? Say something, man. Let the people know you.
What's up, man? I'm in the building, man. Jesse. I hear my guys back in the building. I know he's missing. It's an international part 2. You know what I'm saying? I know that's pit bull status, but we're gonna go ahead and let Jesse roll with it. I'm proud of my guy, man. He's doing a lot of things right now. So congratulations on the nomination, bro. We're just gonna leave it at the nomination for this week. Yeah. But we'll come back around here in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Man, but you have been out of the country, being an ambassador for the sport. So please let the people know what you've been up to.
So I just returned a couple days ago from Cartagena, Colombia. And I've been working in Cartagena, Colombia with expanding the game of football, the game that I love, the game that has changed my life. And so I had an opportunity to put on a sports clinic. Okay. And so, I wanted to do something that wasn't natural to their everyday. And at first, when I first was out there and I was kind of introducing it, I got some pushback.
Okay.
They were like, we don't do football, we do soccer.
Of course.
And it was like, we do soccer or we'll do baseball, but this whole football thing, this football Americano that you're talking about, we don't really get down like that.
Right.
And so it took me having to break down the game of football and how important it is for youth. And if there's parents listening in the States, hear what I'm saying to you. How important it is for youth to play multiple sports. Mm-hmm. Not only that, all of these sports go hand in hand with one another. All of the movements, and Isaiah can speak more into that because he's into that world now with his business. All of the muscle movements and the muscle structures and all that you're building up, they all go hand in hand. Eye-hand coordination, lateral movement, explosion, whether that's track, baseball, football, basketball, they all go hand in hand. So I had an opportunity to put on a sports clinic, and it was phenomenal. Yeah. I had kids come out, and I had coaching sessions in the morning for the coaches in these different communities. And a lot of these communities are the poorer communities. Mm-hmm. They came out, and I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, I did not know what to expect. They had notebooks. They were taking, I was on a board. like taking pictures, like, no, don't erase. Like taking pictures of the board, and they had so many questions. And then in the afternoon, we had the kids come out, and then we went through different things, drills and stuff like that. And then I was teaching them offense and defense, stuff like that. And it was the thing that you have to understand when you're dealing in poor communities. If you're not giving away something for free, food, clothes, medical, dental, whatever, they don't come back a second day if they're not interested.
Right.
I wasn't giving away food. I wasn't giving away anything but information. And my class was packed for 3 days in a row.
Man, that is
Packed.
awesome.
So that's what I was doing, man. And I hope that maybe I gotta talk with the Cowboys people, but I want this football thing to grow internationally like the NFL wants to do. And I think South America and Cartagena, where I have a strong foundation there, we can start there. Maybe some Cowboy stuff happening in Cartagena coming soon.
Man, I know you set up shop, so I can't wait to hear all about it, Jesse. Yeah, I know you did, but I'm really proud of that. Proud to hear that, and also, your story, the Emmy. I thought what the DallasCowboys.com did in your story, I thought was fantastic, magnificent, man. And to have you back in the building.
Yes, I'm happy.
We're gonna get into some dirt today, cause I should have read the disclaimer. Remember the disclaimer that I've been reading? I should have read that today. But Kurt, look, you might want to leave because if you stay, you're an accessory.
I've put up with Shannon and Jesse.
Already,
I'm already in.
We all go to the principal's office together.
Yes, sir. Well, look, I got to ask you this. News and notes. We know that today that the team is taking a bit of a break, or we've been hearing that there may be game situations. But what do you know? Game notes. Just camp notes, or news and notes.
The most recent news is the team has waived Aaron Hansford, linebacker he was an undrafted guy out of Texas A&M, who some people thought he might be able to make a little noise, but he started the year on the PUP. He's gone now. Maybe the more significant part of that is there's now a roster spot open. So who knows? Could be something coming along, which we'll probably get into in a little bit. But outside of that, typical training camp, guys are starting to get banged up, injured. Two of our tight ends are, Sprinkle and Ferguson, the rookie, both set out yesterday with I think Achilles and a hamstring issue, and Jabril Cox set out with knee trouble. Hopefully, they're saying it's not any big deal, but for a guy coming off an ACL, you never know. Right. So those are kind of the two tight. There's a lot of little stuff going on and things we will get into later, but that's kind of the most recent stuff.
Now, Isaiah, you're out there in Oxnard, and you can definitely check the temperature of what's going on with the club right now. In your estimation, obviously, being that you got there 2 days ago, man, just what's your thought process right now on the team and what's happening with them in Oxnard?
Yeah, I've been taking it all in. I know myself and Jesse, we just go out here and shake our head right now. I'm actually sitting across from where they're going through a walkthrough right now. I'm going to run it back, a walkthrough right now, walkthrough practice. It's not what we grew up in, but it's the new age of the NFL. But overall, man, these guys were running around yesterday. There's a lot of it was high tempo. It was highly competitive. There's obviously some highlights in terms of what the defense was doing. They had some nice looks in terms of three high. Some of their fronts that they came out with, Ridgeway and Hill, being a nice little pairing on the inside. They both had a great day. Sam Williams doing a great job on the defensive line. Obviously, there are a lot of conversation right now is revolving around the receiver position and the health surrounding that. There's definitely a lot of health concerns regarding the Cowboys right now, not only just at the receiver position, but you guys just mentioned at the tight end position with Sprinkle and Ferguson, both not participating. Jabril Cox, obviously, not being really available yesterday. Sounded like he bumped his knee, had a little contusion on his knee. It sounds like, and then you go to the offensive line. And one thing that I don't think is being talked about enough is that we're without Matt Waletzko, and what that's going to look like going forward, because they drafted him with the intention of him having that additional depth at that tackle position, and now all of a sudden he's not looking like he's going to be available. So a lot of questions revolving around injuries right now. It's early. You expect those things in camp, but that doesn't make you feel any better going into the season.
Well, I may as well address the elephant in the room. And it's not me, but I'm just saying. It's just, the deal is, guys, is that for a very long time, and Isaiah, obviously we're on Talking Cowboys together, and seeing you, Rob, and Kyle today on made me sick. I just want to say that without me. But it's cool. It's cool. But where you've been saying for a long time that, wide receiver depth is, we have to get better there. Even linebacker depth, you've been talking about that. Swing tackle. We've been going over these things. But for you guys that are, former pro wide receivers, the conundrum that the Dallas Cowboys find themselves in. And Jesse, you know what? I'm going to start with you.
Here we go, baby.
You know what now?
Let's go.
I'm going to start with you.
Take a break, everybody.
No, hold on.
Let's go.
Let's take a break. I'm going to let you do this live from the bully pulpit here at the Star. Sound off, because I'm sure you have an opinion about where the Dallas Cowboys are and the state of the depth and James Washington's injury.
And here's the thing, Heck. You look around and you start saying to yourself, man, this front office can't be this incompetent, right? And you just can't go into a situation where you're saying, are we really going in with this wide receiver group? Are we really going to go in with this? Are we really going to go with that? And now you start to look at it and you're going, this isn't an accident. This is not an accident. We're thinking this thing is a little bit off course. No. This is going according to plan. This is what they want. This is what they want.
How is this what they want?
This is and I'm never a fan of this, but this is what you call the organic tank.
Wow.
This is when you start looking around and you start saying, wait a second, our team who got bullied in the first round of the playoffs last year by San Francisco.
Yes.
Okay. Well, how do we negate that? How do we improve that? How do we not become the twerps of the playground anymore? Oh, okay. Well, we'll get rid of LC. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, we'll get rid of a number one wide receiver in Amari Cooper. Oh, okay, cool. We'll just start letting guys go left and right, and then we don't replenish. We don't bring anything back in. We don't try to bolster it with surefire things. Because I know you can go into the draft and you can want to get things and do things in the draft and so on and so forth. But that's always a 50-50 crapshoot. Even the guy that you get in the high end of the draft. Now, those have more tendencies to be players than those who are in the later rounds. But even that's a 50-50 crapshoot. And we've seen that on both ends of the spectrums here with the Cowboys, with guys in the first and second round high draft picks not turning out to be what you need them to be. And you start looking around, and then you hear the report yesterday, well, we're in no rush to add veteran leadership to a wide receiver core that CeeDee Lamb is the only wide receiver that's healthy right now that has a touchdown in the National Football League. You can't, and he's one ankle injury. Now you're one ankle injury away, knock on wood, a hammy, a quad, a toe, a finger, a rib, whatever you want to call, a shoulder, a collarbone, whatever. From now you're saying, I don't have my number one. My number two won't be there till we don't even know when Gallup is coming back.
Right. And what kind of shape he'll be in.
What shape he'll be in. Then the guy that we have for number three, he's out. And then the rookie. We don't know what the rookie's going to be.
Now I gotta break in on that because you just can't. Where's the bomb sound effect that you just walked in here with?
Because we as media members, we as fans, we got to stop playing ourselves.
Okay.
We got to stop playing ourselves because we look around and just saying that.
You speaking that French now? All right, you speaking that wee.
You're right.
Don't do that now because this has been addressed for a long time, and they did address it by bringing in James Washington. It just so happens to be that now the number 2 and the number 3 are out for at least, most likely, seemingly, is like the first quarter of the year.
Yeah,
I know Gallup is a toss-up in terms of them saying, hey, maybe week 1 or 2. Let's just go ahead and say that Gallup's going to be out for the first four games, just like Washington. Let's just imagine that they both came back the same week. You're now out there with inexperienced guys. Noah Brown's having a good camp. We always know that he's been a consistent player in the role that he's been asked to play. But you're now going out there, and I'm watching these guys line up with CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown, and Dennis Houston.
Right.
Yeah, Dennis Houston. And he's doing a great job. But nobody else outside of camp knows who he is. So there's a lot of unknowns in that regard. And to Jesse's point, it takes one little thing, right? A jammed finger, whatever it may be, and now all of a sudden you're in panic mode. So you're seeing, and it might be just them playing the game. It might just be playing politics, just laying low, laying in the weeds because they can't let everybody know that they're in the market for a receiver. But let's be real. And Jesse, you know this, they're looking for a receiver. And there's no question about it. It's just a matter of what receiver they're looking for and how much they're willing to spend on that receiver. But the longer you wait, if they continue to play that game, the longer you wait, what do we always say, Jesse? The price just went up. Because I know that you're now in a dire situation.
Not only does the price go up, but you ain't the only one looking for a receiver, homie.
Absolutely.
Right? Broncos just suffered a receiver loss.
Right.
Done for the year.
Absolutely.
The Rams, they just lost a receiver for at least a couple months. Now, if I'm a free agent, I start looking around and I'm going, oh, man, it looks magically delicious to go to L.A. right now.
Yeah.
Off a Super Bowl, Matt Stafford, that coaching staff, that team. Oh, man, let's ride. I might want to go to Denver and let's ride. Yeah. Broncos Nation, let's ride.
Why would Jerry say that, though? Why would he say that we're going with our young guys?
But let me say this. Okay. I got because I cannot get jiggy to what you just said.
Let's ride.
I can't.
Let's ride.
I can't do it because the thing when you say that, the darling of the front office is Will McClay. Everybody every year said how great Will McClay is and what he does. Mm-hmm. And now you're in a situation with your young wide receivers, and you knew that when you got rid of Amari Cooper. This was right there. And so the drop-off in talent, let's just keep it real. You say CeeDee Lamb is one injury away. So is the rest of the league. This is true on every roster that there is, but there's levels to this. There is levels to this. So when your fourth wide receiver, James Washington, who was your fourth wide receiver, let's not act like the disparity in talent from the next guy is that far of a fall. Now, if it's like that, that's that next man up mentality that people try and sell you. Not with your first round guys, all right? But when we're talking about your fourth receiver, fifth guy, there shouldn't be that much of a drop-off. You should have those guys on your roster or you failed in the front office, so you can't have it both ways.
Well, question, but they don't even know if they have their number 2 and 3 receivers on the roster. You already
knew that your number 2 you started him on pup because you knew what was going on. He had an ACL last year. You already knew that.
But you don't know. I mean, he's got an ACL. Do you know if he's going to be able to come back? Do you know if a rookie can handle in receiver, one of the toughest positions for a rookie? I mean,
yeah.
Look, I'm not saying that that's not a great unknown. And I'm not saying that this club has obviously placed their faith in Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and this offense and saying that Zeke and Tony Pollard can keep this team balanced. That's what they believe. But to say that there's an organic tank going on when the talent, you've been drafting the talent. You drafted it this year in Jalen Tolbert.
Again, Jalen Tolbert, and I like Jalen Tolbert. We don't know what Jalen Tolbert, and I'm not knocking Southern Alabama, but it's Southern Alabama. That when you talk about the talent disparity from what you get week in and week out.
Oh, I love this. See, now you're going to that SEC, ACC thing where guys from different. Are you saying because he's coming from Southern Alabama, he's not capable to rise to this level, Jay?
No, what I'm saying is this. I'm saying there is a difference. There is a difference. Let's not mistaken. There's not a difference.
There's levels.
There's levels to this. Now, can Jalen Tolbert rise above that? Sure, but there's a learning curve. There's a huge learning curve that I think a lot of casual people just look over. And when those bullets start flying, and that young man is thinking, that changes a lot of things. That changes a ton of stuff when you go up there and it's Sunday night football. Mm-hmm. It's Monday night football.
Prime time, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
And now Dak Prescott is up there and he's check, and he's boom, 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 boom. And that thing moving a little bit faster than you normally used to. And the guy across from you was an all-pro or a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Because you're now going to face you're either going to face the number 1 because they're going to bracket with the number 2 in safety on CeeDee Lamb, or you're going to get the best corner, second best corner on the team. So,
Jesse, let me give you a little bit of insight and add on to what you're explaining right now. Heck, what he's referring to is what we witnessed yesterday at practice. So yesterday at practice, you obviously have some of the guys one of the guys that you drafted in Tolbert. And Tolbert, I like him as well. But yesterday, when it came time for them to be a highly competitive period, there's Dak threw a ball in there that was a tight squeeze, and he didn't come down with it. Hit him in both hands and just didn't come down with it. I don't know if he got a little nervous in there because he was in there with the big fellas, but he didn't come down with it. Those are plays that you have to be able to make. Now, yes, it's just one play. Yes, it's early in camp, but that's an example of there being levels. You also talk about the young kid, the USFL MVP, Cavante Turpin. He's an explosive little quick dude that everybody's talking about, hyping up, saying, oh, he's a sleeper pick. Well, yesterday he had a route that he ran across the middle, and there was a safety right there, and he took his eyes off the ball and ran smack dab into the chest of the safety with his eyes wide open. There are levels to this. So there is a learning curve that you have to continue to work on, and that you can't expect these guys to just simply walk in and be who they once were.
Yeah, and I appreciate the interpretation, but at the same time, you get to this level for a reason, and that's why I was saying when you say the next man up, it applies to those guys on the back end, not your lead dog, your first-round draft pick. You've seen that with Tyron Smith when he goes down, on the level that he's on. I understand that there's levels to it, but I also feel like when you make the statement, we're going to see who our young guys are, you want to develop these guys. Noah Brown has been around for a while, and he's a guy that you say right now, he's dependable. All right, he's a guy that you can go to war with. All right, Jalen Tolbert, he's going to have spot duty. Michael Gallup, when he comes back, he's automatically your number 2 guy, all right? But you got to work up to that, get to that point. I just believe right now that, yes, they are still looking for a veteran wide receiver, but they're going to let these young guys develop. And if we believe in Will McClay the way we say each and every podcast, this is the time where he makes hay. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it because like you said, every organization right now is dealing with injuries, and we can't every time there's an injury go, okay, now it's time to go sign OBJ. It's time to go get AB. Come on, we can't have that because like just last week, 2 weeks ago, James Washington was just a possession receiver. He was a ho-hum addition when we signed him, but now when he goes down, we're going to cry all over come on, man.
It's not James Washington that we're crying over.
You look at the receiver position, right? Let's just look at that position in particular. Would you say that when healthy, that this is a top 5, top 10 receiving core in the league?
I believe that last year at the beginning of the season that we had a top 5 receiving core with Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup. Yes, I did. Just from the firepower and what we did offensively, the potential there. I mean, I saw it all as being explosive. They were the number 1 offense last year. Let's not act as though you didn't have that firepower. Let's not act like they didn't put up 50 burgers on teams. Why are we doing this? I mean, because when it comes down to the Cowboys, what we do is if you take the stats in the Dallas Cowboys away and put any other team, you say, oh, they're a contender. That's an elite team. But because it's the Dallas Cowboys, I'm pump faking. I'm just a fan. I think that all of these guys are Jerry Rice. I think all of them Mike Irvin. I don't. I know that teams win football games. And
absolutely.
Well, don't act like I don't understand what's being said when I know that this is a team game and teams are going to go out there and win the Lombardi.
For sure. And guess what? My reason for asking you that question is simply other teams, they're in a position to afford these injuries because of the depth at that position. The Dallas Cowboys are not as fortunate at that particular position this year. So that's all I'm saying. The other teams somebody gets injured at that position, guess what? There's another man that's very capable and that there's no question marks regarding around that individual, whether or not he can or can't play at this level, that can simply step into the fold. Dallas Cowboys are not that fortunate. Their number 2 and their number 3 go down. You don't know. You can't ask Noah Brown to now take the number 2 position because guess what? He has a full load at the special teams role as well.
Right. Well, look, hold that thought because I got Jip Jazz in my ear saying that I got to go to a break. You guys got me fired up here. Jesse's back in the building.
That's what I do, baby.
Diesel is in the building. And now we got the great Nate coming up in the second segment. Stay with us right here on Hanging with the Boys.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pregame sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Attention Cowboys fans looking for the best shave of your life. There's a new official razor of the Dallas Cowboys, Shave Logic. Imagine not having to buy blades as often and getting more smooth shaves than your old razor, guaranteed or your money back. After more than 10 years of research and over 150 company patents, ShaveLogic is proud to offer Cowboys fans a special offer. For a limited time, visit ShaveLogic.com and get a free $10 gift card with your purchase. Go to ShaveLogic.com now for more smooth shaves guaranteed.
Back to Hangin' with the
Welcome back to the SWBC studios. This is Hanging with the Boys, sponsored by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. And the second segment is brought to you by blockchain.com. And man, I tell you what, Jesse, you didn't waste no time reintroducing yourself. Yes.
Let me reintroduce myself. My name is Jess.
I'm all fired up.
Yeah, I like it.
He came right in here with his second segment where we have Nate Newton here with us with Isaiah from Oxnard, just rubbing it in. Nate, what's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man. Just listening to Jesse. I'm glad he had a successful trip and he's trying to expand the NFL. And that's a great thing, man, Jesse, that you're doing down there, helping those people, man, understand American football as well as American culture, man. That's a great thing.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I'll tell you one thing. You can't road trip there in the van. So but I got you all set up when you're ready to roll.
Okay. We'll go down there, man, and just give that information, man. Yeah.
That's all we can do.
Well, guys, I want to throw this over to you, Nate, just to ask you about just the vibe down there in Oxnard. I know you've been watching those guys in the middle, and just want to get your overall assessment from the first day of pads into what you've seen to this point.
Man, it just offensive line is way behind, and they're going to continue to work hard every day. Every time I talk to a scout or to a coach, I'm like, consistency, coaching. Consistency means 5 guys. The same 5 guys working together, building a rhythm, building a bond. That pity pat, moving in and out, musical chairs, that stuff right there get you hurt. You don't have but a limited amount of padded practice. And I just wish that the offensive line could get some continuity. Yesterday, the young guys, Tyler looked a little bit better than Connor. Connor did not look well yesterday. So, maybe they're going to start leaning towards this kid a little bit more as they go getting ready for this week, getting ready for Denver. Maybe they'll get this kid a little bit more run. Tyler Smith, the first-round pick.
And just from when it comes down to being an expert on guard play, just from what you've seen from the young man so far, we need him to be a contributor right away. Is he giving you any confidence from what you've seen, Nate?
Yes, from the first day, yes. He's moving a little slower than I want him to, but you can't, each guy has to build his own momentum and get his confidence how he get it. He's getting more and more confident. And one thing about it, man, when he put his hands on a dude, them dudes feel it, man. You can see their body jerk. So when he's confident and getting off the snap with the rest of the guys, they move people, man. Now he want to control folks. He got to learn to stay a little bit square, keep his head play side. He's so used to in college just taking dudes and manhandling them, and that ain't happening out here with these grown men. You ain't gonna just manhandle everybody. He threw Tristan Hill on his neck one day, and then yesterday he threw another dude on his neck. So he breaking necks out here day by day. He just got to be a little bit more technique sound with his hands inside. Feet can get lazy sometimes, and that's just because he's played against guys that are not athletic is what he's facing now in camp.
Can I ask a dumb practice question?
No, it ain't dumb. Boy, I don't care.
Well, you said McGovern hasn't looked good. He didn't look good the past few days, and Smith is looking better, which I think is good for your first-round pick. He better. But are they facing the same guys? Is like one.
Yeah, because they give each guy a chance at that first team. Once they change, they have like first and second down, first down, in standard plays. Then they have nickel situations. They have different situations, and each one of them was rotating with the first team with Tyron. So Ball even got some run at the first tackle position. He looked it okay, but the defense, number one, this is the defense second year. Going into the second year, they had a whole off season to understand Coach Quinn's defense. And fellas, it shows. It shows night and day. I mean,
why are you doing me like this, Nate? Why are you doing me like this, Nate?
It's an offensive breakdown somewhere on every play because the defense know where they're supposed to be. They're playing at a different speed, my friend. And then you got Dante Fowler sometime playing second team. You have Sam Williams who hate tight ends. It's like if he is on a tight end, it's something like, you know what? And I guess at Mississippi, it's like dog the tight ends, and they be taking them to the ground, bro. They don't. Him and Fowler just been disrupting practice, man. So, but beyond all of that, guys are still getting the offensive work in, and they're getting better. I just hate they had this slow day like this. I was hoping that they would have a 3 days in a row where they bump it up, but it's all good. They out here walking around, man. Tomorrow, I think they're back in pass, but I like the spirited talk about the wide receiver between Jesse and Isaiah. That was spirited talk, man.
Nate, before we move off the offensive line, and we're joined by Nate Newton, who's on boots on the ground in Oxnard, California at Cowboys practice. Nate, let's swing to the other side of the offensive line. And I've been hearing a lot about Terrence Steele, and not a lot of good things about Terrence Steele. And I've reserved anything that has to deal with Micah Parsons. Like when I hear, Micah Parsons beat so-and-so, I don't even count it. I hear so-and-so beat like when I hear Micah Parsons does it, I let it go. But when I hear other names that come into play and you've been beat by those guys, that now becomes a concern to me. So with Terrence Steele, this kind of being his, I guess, make-or-break year, he had a really bad year, then came on a lot to the point where they said, you know what, La'el Collins, we don't even need you anymore. We're going to go with Terrence Steele. What have you seen from him in training camp? Are the reports matching what you're seeing matching from what I'm hearing about him getting beat a lot and having a lot of kind of mistakes on that offensive line?
You know what? I looked at him last year, in his first year, I looked at him. He does not look good. He just does not look good in practice. I even hollered at him. I hollered at him yesterday, man, bend your knees, punch this dude. He turned around and looked at me. I said, yeah, bend your knees and punch this dude. He does not look good in practice, man. I mean, he'll have a stretch where he'll have 2 or 3 good plays, and then you'll be like, man, this no-name dude who you have to look at that. What number was that? Just ran past him. He's just inconsistent like that, man. But he tries hard and he jumps around like that first grader, excited. And I mean, I believe this, Justin. When you have a guy like that that's working hard just to be who he is, that's why you can't move him around. That's why he is your right tackle. And I think the coaching staff and the scouts have finally come to grips. This guy's not the greatest practice player, but in the games he gives us what we need only at right tackle. Only at right tackle. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No, and you know what? I think now we're about to start hearing this word bubble. Guys on the bubble as the first cuts approach. Like you mentioned today, we had a linebacker that was released. More and more of that is going to start to happen, especially with some of the position needs that we have that Jesse was just talking about. But we have log jams in other places. Cornerback is one where all those guys are not going to make it. Also, at the defensive tackle edge position, we just talked about Terrence Steele, a guy that's in a make-it-break-it situation right now with the Dallas Cowboys, and the swing tackle positions with Ball. How far are they going to go with him if he doesn't develop into the guy that they anticipated? And I'll swing this over to you, Isaiah. Any guy on the bubble that you can think of that is either making a case for himself or obviously going in the wrong direction?
Not yet. Not yet. I'll say, it's too soon in camp to say, start talking about the bubble. But I do think that in terms of one room that's extremely congested right now is the defensive line. And that's going to be very interesting to see exactly how that really pans out. As I mentioned earlier, yesterday, the one interior defensive lineman was Ridgeway and Hill. And those guys were wrecking shop. And I didn't realize, I've met this individual, so I've talked with him, Ridgeway that is. You don't realize how massive this dude is until you see him next to other players. D-Law looks like a high school student next to him. Tristan Hill looks like a freshman next to him. This dude is massive, and he has a swagger and an attitude about him that this defensive front needs. So I'm very excited to see what these guys do. If yesterday was any indication, as you just heard Nate talk about it, if yesterday was any indication as to what these guys are going to do collectively as a front, then I'm very excited about it.
Fellas, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I know things seem to be moving fast. We'll be up on the preseason game next year. But this management, these coaches and these scouts, as Isaiah said, they are not in a hurry to sign no one. They are truly going to look at these guys who they have here on this squad to give them every opportunity to make or break themselves in these few padded practices, these walkthroughs, these mock practices or games, whatever called. Every scout I talk to, they are set on where they're at right now. Now that the wide receiver thing is a funny thing. I don't know about that, but everywhere else, and the other question I have for everyone is, fellas, there's no one out there as far as offensive linemen. There's no one out there. Check your rosters.
Yep.
I think for me, and maybe I'm reaching, and we all know I've known to do that as well. But Calvin Joseph, this is a guy who the team, when drafted, was one who they really looked to come in and kind of solidify that. And you see more reports in him in training camp, TJ Vasher is putting in work on him. Houston's putting work in on him. I mean, there's a bunch of guys who are putting work in on, and we saw the TJ Vasher catch, the one-handed catch, and beside the catch, like I looked at what happened at the line of scrimmage, and this is a guy who you're talking about. TJ Vasher, 6'6", a lot of area space to get your hands on, and Kelvin Joseph, who was a guy at Kentucky who was known to be a good press corner. You didn't get a hand on him. You didn't get a hand on him. Yeah. And you're seeing more of that happening where he's just out of position. He's double clutching in his brakes. And he's for a guy who had that much expectation put on him, and then you can't ignore, I know that legally he was cleared, but you can't ignore that stuff, what you're doing in the offseason. And when you start you're not living up to the expectation on the field physically, and then you have your situation where you're around this negative stuff in the offseason, and then you come to training camp and you're still not able to put that together. Those things, when they go into those meeting rooms and they're talking about guys and they're saying, this guy's not giving us what he needs. This guy is around people we probably shouldn't have him around. What are we going to do? Is this a trade piece? And this is a guy who we can, when it comes down to, the numbers game.
A second-round pick already, would they?
I mean, you can hold on to these guys as long as you want, and you end up in a Tristan Hill situation,
right?
Where he's been around for a couple years. I'm just saying that you need a guy at that caliber to really, we should be talking about him, and we should be talking about bookend corners. We should be saying, man, Kelvin Joseph and Trayvon Diggs, our booking corners, let's rock and roll. We got booking defensive ends. We got a middle linebacker that's amazing. We got corners, and now I got J-Ron Kearse and Malik Hooker. Let's ride. But you can't say that.
What has he shown you that leads you to think that you should even be having that conversation? So I agree with you in terms of if we're going to put a bubble title on anybody, it has to be him because he hasn't shown you anything. And the reason why I say that, he hasn't shown you anything in terms of his ability to cover receivers at the caliber that we're expecting him to.
Yeah.
And he hasn't shown his ability to make contributions on special teams, which would allow him the time to continue to develop at the cornerback position.
That's why he's my bubble guy. That's why he's one of my bubble guys.
I would agree with you in that regard.
You know, and I love hearing the names. When you say Dante Fowler, that was another guy, ho-hum, when he got signed, Dan Quinn guy. But just to hear what he's doing down in Oxnard, I've been hearing so much about Tristan Hill dominating the line of scrimmage. And he was a guy that I think everybody was thinking may be a part of some of those cuts to get out, and he's solidifying himself. And I guess that was what the question was. And then other guys like Nashawn Wright, when you talk about the pressure that's on Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, a fourth-round pick that not a lot of people agreed with, but he's making a case for himself as well.
And that's the thing is when you have guys like a Nashawn Wright making plays, and you have other guys, Lewis and other guys who are playing decent ball in camp. And again, you look at a guy with such high pick, you're saying, dude,
makes your point.
I need more.
Right.
And one of the ways you like to Isaiah's point, how you can, if you're not helping us out being a shutdown corner or at least a productive corner, then you got to be a core special teams guy. Like, you got to be an ace. You can't be just another guy. You have to be an ace. We have to be able to count on you on multiple phases on special teams. And you're not giving us that. So at this point in time, what are we doing? We're holding on to a guy because of the draft pick status, but you're giving nothing in productivity. And at times, you weren't even suiting out on games on Sunday.
And to add on to that, Jesse, and that's a perfect point, because yesterday in a post-practice press conference, Coach McCarthy made it a point to talk about Nashawn Wright and his ability, his importance as a core special teamer, in addition and the value that he brought to the team last year. So that's a perfect example as to somebody who's still developing at their position, but is making huge contributions in the special teams area. They will give you time. They will give you time to develop as long as you're helping them out in another area. But if you are a question mark on both ends, that's regardless of your draft status, that's when you usually start becoming a bubble guy.
And to add on to that, I talked about it's a different player, but more to what you guys are saying is I talked to a scout yesterday, and he said, and I was asking about Armstrong and why they paid him. He said, Nate, a lot of people just looking at him as a defensive player. We know he's a rotation guy, sometimes start a rotation guy. He said, but he's in our category of 65% of all the plays. He plays 3 special teams, and he's one of the top rotation pieces that gives them those 65% snaps of the whole game. So I understand what you're saying, but one thing we got to understand, and Isaiah will speak to this, Dan Quinn is telling him boss man fat. He is telling boss man fat the very same thing that you guys are saying now. I promise you, Dan Quinn don't back up.
But let me say this, Nate. If he's being told that and there's no response, then what are you left to do?
That's on him. That's on him.
Kurt, get in here, man, before they take all the meat off the bone. Kurt.
No, I can't add to that. They know.
No, man, this is great conversation. We got to take a break. We'll be right back with the final segment, guys, and we're going to go 2-minute offense, all right, on this last segment. You guys got the questions already, but thank you all hanging with us. We'll be right back on Hanging with the Boys.
Brace yourself for an existential question. Has your butt been having enough fun lately? Have you been treating it well? Has it been going places? If not, then it's about time you start using SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the best way to get your butt tickets to live events. Just ask the thousands of other butts who have rated it the #1 ticketing app. So what are you waiting for? Download the app now or visit SeatGeek.com to get tickets to sports, concerts, and live events and make your butt happy. SeatGeek. Get your seat in a seat.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. I'm a broken traffic light. Stop and go is the name of my game. It's easy. You go, they go. Or was it they go, you go? And if you have the wrong car insurance, these repair costs could stop you in your tracks. So get Allstate's new low auto rate and be better protected from mayhem. like me.
Not available in every state based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
With Smoothie King's original Angel Food and new Angel Food Slim without added sugar, you no longer have to choose between treating yourself and hitting your goals this summer. You don't have to choose between great taste and feeling great. Because at Smoothie King, every blend is made with whole fruits and no syrups, so you can satisfy your cravings without compromise. The only choice you will need to make is which one is best for you. Try our classic Angel Food or the new Angel Food Slim, blended without added sugar. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Back in action here at the Star in Frisco from the SWBC Mortgage Studios with Jesse Holly, my man Kurt Diesel, as he will be referred to on this show. Nate Newton and Isaiah Stanback out in Oxnard, California. And guys, Dallas Cowboys training camp presented by American Airlines is back in Oxnard, California. Check out all of the excitement for free. Enjoy daily practices, activities, and more at the River Ridge Fields through August 16th. For more information, visit dallascowboys.com/training camp. And guys, I said 2-minute going to the end of the show. I got a few yes and no. Well, I got one yes or no question. And I got to ask for an explanation for why, if it definitely is a yes. But have you, Kurt Daniels, I wish I knew your middle name. I'd say it right now. Kurt, have you taken the glass off of the panic button on August the 3rd at 1:16 Central Standard Time?
Well, I think we might have talked about this before in the offseason. I came into this season with my doubts. I bought in wholeheartedly. I was drinking the Kool-Aid last year. They were going all the way. I was in it, and then we got that punch gut of a playoff loss. So I told myself this year, and with the moves that happened this offseason, I don't know if panic's the right word, but my expectations are kind of low at this point, I guess.
So the button hadn't been pushed. Everything
no,
is where you
I'm
thought
not
it was
pushing the button. I mean, given the division they're in and all that, they'll be fine. But I'm not sure a playoff spot's guaranteed at this point.
Isaiah Stanback and the Stanback family, please represent and let me know if you
holistically the entire team.
Man, why you doing me like that? Why you hit me with the holistically? Hey, come on, man. Are you drinking green tea? Are you asking holistically?
You know he is. Avocado toast.
Yeah, holistic. You know what I'm asking you, Isaiah. Don't do me like that, man.
Not panic, but no. So I'm gonna say no. I'm not hitting them. The glass is still closed on the entire team. I think they're still in a position to be successful. In terms of if we want to talk about specifically the receiver group, my hand is pressed.
Okay.
my hand is pressed at that position.
Nate,
kicker.
Nate,
man, we got a defense, bro. We got a defense. If we have any semblance of a run game, we're going to run this thing right the way we need to be, man, right to the first round of the playoffs. All right?
Nate sounds so 1993. Golly, this ain't your Cowboys no more, Nate.
That's what I love about Nate. That's what I love about Nate. Man. See?
Yes.
Hey.
I'm just being realistic. I'm being realistic. If these guys run the ball, and they ain't got to be great at it, if they run the ball and let Dak throw this thing, it's a stat out there. They're saying we Dak throw the ball 30 or 35 times or less, he ain't lost the game. That means what they doing them other 25 or 30 plays. That means they running the ball, whether it's successful or not. Don't matter. We got a defense, brother. We got a defense that got 54 is bringing it, bro.
That's my fault.
Jesse, I love you. Take your hand off that button.
That's my fault. I didn't reiterate the question before I asked Nate because I knew Nate was going to get to me anyway. Jesse, there's the panic button. Have you taken – yes, you have. This man just said organic. I don't even have to ask you. This man just said organic tanking. So go ahead.
this team has done nothing for me to believe otherwise. And I get it. We're in a weak division. But I said this before, and people joked on me and they laughed about me. Philly got a defense.
Yeah.
I was about to say this division has historically been weak.
Philly got a defense. Also, history says that no team has repeated as division champions since 2003 or 4. I know the Giants have been the laughing stock of this division, but I think they found their guy in the head coach. I do, and that's going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference tremendously. It's not going to be this. I'm not saying that we're not going to win the division. I'm saying it's not going to be as cakewalky as y'all make it sound.
Exactly.
It's
and that
not.
makes us better for the playoffs.
It's not.
That makes us
But
better for the playoffs.
this team, when you start looking around the landscape of the league, if we're just talking about today, this team can't beat the Niners. Today, this team can't beat Green Bay. Today, this team can't beat the Rams. Right? So when you're looking around the league and you're trying to say, oh, what is this Cowboy team? I'm saying it's the same thing that they've been the last couple of years. It's they'll have their moments, they'll have their spots, but I don't care about regular season. I don't. We've had enough of that. What are you going to do when the rubber hit the road?
Right.
When you got to face them dogs. When Debo and Trent Williams walking out playing Super Gremlin, what you gonna do then? What's gonna happen then?
With the boombox in your house.
In your crib.
Yeah.
What you gonna do then? What you gonna do when
They are working on that now,
no, they not.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this, guys, and this is for Cowboy Nation, the people that tune in, the people that bleed silver and blue.
We all bleed it.
Whoa.
We all bleed it.
Calm down. But there are people that want right now to believe that there is a snowball's chance in hell with a team that's coming off of a 12-5 season. Now, you don't care about that, but the regular season. But when it comes down to the numbers, we try and gray those out like we just lost a subscription to a newspaper online, right? You can't do that. You have to consider what this team did. And San Francisco, let's just say what it is. We ran into a buzzsaw. We ran into a team that beat Green Bay at home in 20-degree weather.
Silverback.
Yes, that's what we ran. You can't beat it. We ran into that. We ran into that.
And they did nothing but get more silverbackies.
Is this team better?
Look. If you had a crystal ball,
defensively,
offensively, we are working on it.
If you had a crystal ball last year, you would have never predicted that Michael Parsons would be the player that he is. If you had a crystal,
he is.
Right, but he is. And if you had a crystal ball, wait a minute. If you had a crystal ball last year, you wouldn't have told me that the Bengals would have made it to the Super Bowl.
Okay, I'll give you that one.
You couldn't do that. So to even sit here right now and say that the Cowboys are dead in the water, it makes no sense to me.
On your Michael Parsons part, I don't buy that.
What do you mean?
You don't need a crystal ball to say he's going to be a good player.
Man, you didn't know that he was going to be that dude.
Not of that level. But a guy goes in the top 15 of picks in the draft.
I'm talking
he's supposed to be a good player.
No. That's where the coach came in at. That is where the coach came in.
And honestly, luck helped us out last year. Had we not had suspensions, had we not had COVID or injuries, we don't even know Michael Parsons can rush off the edge.
What is luck?
He wouldn't have had a chance. If Randy Gregory was here and DeMarcus Lawrence was here, he would have probably never got a chance to rush off the edge. But because we had those situations and we were backs against the wall, they were like, you know what? I'm in the lab. Let's see what the kid can do.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I think they would have got to that point one way or another.
I don't know.
Glad you're back, Jesse.
I don't know. I don't know if we get to that point with Michael Parsons and finding out, holy hell, this kid is amazing. Let him rush some more. They might have lined him up in the backfield and said, you know what, we really like Randy Gregory, because this team traditionally has always been, we haven't been this whole move guys around, play guys out of position, do type stuff on defense. It's been mainly, hey, line up where I put you at, and we're going to go from there. And it just so happened that injuries or suspensions or COVID or whatever it was led us down to a path where Michael Parsons came out and was like, oh, we got something.
Jesse, I hear you, and I agree with you partially, but Dan Quinn happened.
Okay.
And I said that when Dan Quinn first came on board. Dan Quinn is a game changer. Dan Quinn does not operate underneath everybody else's the way in which everybody else does things. He does things his own way.
Man, I love Dan Quinn. I love Dan Quinn, and I agree with you, Isaiah. But sometimes a K9 is a K9. He is a dog, and it didn't take
100%.
It didn't take Bill Parcells to coach Lawrence Taylor. It did not. Okay, so
but it took Bill Parcells to put Lawrence Taylor in position to beat LT.
I got you.
Yes, sir.
I got you. So let everybody do this with me. Woosah. And let's take a deep breath together.
No, I'm not woosah. I'm telling you, the defense is there. All we got to do is act like we're going to run the ball, and we're going to be successful.
Who we running the ball with? That's what my question now is, Nate.
We running the ball with Parsons and Zeke. We running the ball behind number 77 and 73.
All right, I'm just asking what running back we running the ball with. That's not a question.
That is a question. But
that's not a question to ask. That's a question to ask. Who we running the ball with? Who we running the ball with?
Look, guys.
We running with Zeke and Parsons.
All right.
Zeke and
Zeke and Parsons. That's right. We're going to give Parsons the ball. He returning punts. He's going to play run.
Look, we ain't going to get him killed.
Hey, I want to thank Jip Jazz and Terrence in the back. I want to thank all of you for continuously rocking with Hanging with the Boys. I think Hanging with the Boys this year is going to take pole position on their way. And look, we'll be back. What did you say next week?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, 12:30.
I'm here.
Will you be out of?
No, I'm here.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12:30. Kurt, today you got a front row seat of what it's like at the Black Cookout at the Space Table. This is what you got today, Kurt.
All right.
If you've never been to the Black Cookout, this what happened around the Space Table right here. You get four black dudes. A topic.
Yeah.
And this is what you get.
And when Jesse's playing and you're his partner, just collect the books and let him talk.
Yes.
Hey, y'all come back with us here on Hanging with the Boys. See you next time.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?